well, basically all I want to do to start out with is just you all introduce yourselves, tell us who you're involved with. So if you want to go ahead and start.
Take it off, Joe.
Let's look at the camera.
It's however you want to do it, man. It don't matter.
My name is Joe Clark. I am the founder of Commonwealth Paranormal in Moorhead, Kentucky.
And I'm Stan Howard, founder of P.A.S.T. Paranormal Activity Search Team here in Vine Grove, Kentucky.
So how long has both of you all been involved in paranormal research? When did you first start? You know, I guess we'd go separate. You can answer, and then you can answer however we do it. And
go ahead. And
just when did you get started? And you know what? How did you get started in it? For one, too. You know.
I was actually was newlywed, and we moved in this little house. Had a kid on the way, and a lot of paranormal activity going on in this house. I had some things happen that kind of blowed my mind a little bit, and then I started asking questions. You know, why did that happen? And, you know, why me? And, you know, why was it in this location? Well, one thing led to another, and guess what I got for Christmas? An EMF detector, a recorder, and things like that, and it just pretty much started on from there, you know, and I started doing investigations slowly by myself and a few friends and stuff, and then later on in the years, actually, I thought, well, you know, I can put more heads together with more equipment, become a group, and we can catch more, and, you know, share knowledge and things like that. And of course, too, you meet the nicest people doing this too, you know, and everybody shares the same common, you know, ideas and goals, you know, and trying to help people out, things like that. And of course, it escalates from there, and I've been doing it for just a hair over 12 years now.
12 years in, huh? How long have you been with P.A.S.T? How long have you actually had the organization?
P.A.S.T was founded in 2006. More and more people called and said, "Hey, can I go hunting with you?" And I said, "Yeah, sure. You know, I don't mind. You know, give more people's view on, you know, on different things and stuff." And before you know it, make some really close friends and stuff in our local area. And I thought, well, hey, let's just make a group out of this. You know, start having maybe group meetings and stuff. And of course, one thing led to another, and of course, they started buying their equipment. I bought mine, and then we started swapping equipment, saying, "Hey, let me try that, and you try this," you know, and we become a group. And we decided, hey, we got to call ourselves something here, you know, and that's when we come up with P.A.S.T. Paranormal Activity Search Team, because that's what we were. I really didn't mean for that to be a name, you know, because there's so many names out there like that or something similar to it, but that's just what we got stuck with.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. I got started in the paranormal as an investigator, I guess, back in 1994. That's when I had my first paranormal experience. And of course, I guess I should have backed up. I've always had an interest in the paranormal. Even from a child, I would love to sit and listen to the ghost stories and that kind of thing. And I'd always ask myself and ask people that are telling stories, do ghosts really exist? And so I grew up with an interest in it. And then in 1994, I had my first paranormal experience, and happened at work. And so after that happened, me and some friends would occasionally get together, maybe 2 or 3 times a year, and we would go out to these alleged haunted places. Didn't have any equipment. The most equipment we had was a camera. We'd go out and take pictures, and we would observe and listen to see if we would see anything, hear anything, that kind of thing. I really didn't get serious about investigating until 2006, and that's when I started joining the groups and that kind of thing.
What so you two being in 2 separate groups, how did you all meet up? And you know, give us that story. How you all come about knowing each other?
We actually
from 2 separate areas and 2 separate groups.
Right. We actually met each other last year at P.A.S.T, and it was just like we knew each other our entire lives. We just clicked. And we've stayed in touch. We've worked together since then.
Is there you know, as far as you both being from Kentucky, is there a wide variety of different search teams in Kentucky, and you know, do you all work together well? I mean,
there's hundreds of groups probably here in Kentucky. I know every day brings a new group, it seems. For the most part, we all work together. There's some groups, you know, that I would rather not be associated with for various reasons, but for the most part, we all work together well. You know, if I run into a situation where I'm short-handed, or if I run into a situation where I run into something that's over my head, I can always pick up the phone and call somebody else, you know, from another group if I feel like it. it's necessary. So yeah, we get along pretty well.
Yeah, we're the same way. You know, it's you'll find groups out there that are thrill seekers. You know, and they're not really trying to document or help nobody. They're just out there in the cemetery, just trying to have a good little time. And to me, that's okay and all. But like me and Joe and our teams, we actually try to help people out.
Right.
You know, people in need. And of course, children, you know, cases, you know, to us come first. You know, and you know when, you know, there is an importance to certain things. And to me, I try to do the research part of it. I try to dig deep and find out what the cause is. And I think if without doing that, you really don't go nowhere on an investigation. It's what it's all about. It's an investigation. You know,
Right.
I always tell everybody, you know, there's thrill seekers, ghost hunters, and paranormal investigators. You know, the thrill seekers go out just to have a good time. You know, they do it once or twice in a blue moon, and that's it. Ghost hunters, we'll all get together. You know what I'm saying? And there'll be some investigations that we've already been on. You know, so we're not really doing the paperwork part of it. And we just go back and kind of redo that location and try to catch evidence. Then there's the paranormal investigative part. That's where we're usually there for probably the first or second time. We're actually trying to get things documented for, you know, for scientific research reasons, trying to prove to skeptics, which are hardheads.
Yeah.
You know, and we try to catch some really good evidence to kind of say, okay, what do you think about this? You know, we do. I don't know about Joe, but I ask certain skeptics' opinions. That way, it kind of tests me how good I'm doing. You know, how good of a job I'm doing. You know,
Right.
yeah, and they will keep you straight. You know, when it comes to certain things, you know, they will come up with things that are like, well, this is what it could be, and you're going, yeah, that's exactly what it could be. I thought wrong. You know, so they do keep you kind of honest and stuff, but you know, as far as the thrill seekers and stuff go, I do try to stay away from the thrill seekers because I'm there for business wise, and, you know, to try to get things documented.
Well, now that you're both farther along, I mean, I'm sure you know, I've seen your equipment. I'm sure you got a lot of equipment or whatnot. Does it seem like you seem to find more clues of a spirit with the more equipment you have, or you know what I'm saying? The more you get, or can you? A lot of places you've went in that you could have went in with just your recorder. I mean, is it just you get more kinds of documentation with the more styles of equipment you have, or does the equipment pay off? You know, do you get what I'm saying? What I'm asking is just, can you go in a place with just a recorder?
Oh yeah.
When you first started, do you get more responses now that you're farther along and you have more equipment than you did like when you first started?
Boy, that's a loaded question.
It is.
I've heard of some loaded questions. That's a good one. But you know, my opinion on equipment, I don't know about Joe, but anybody can go out and buy a recorder and catch his stuff. There is you got to realize one thing though. You're communicating with the other side, and once you make that contact, they'll continue to try to make contact even with the recorder off. You know, and that's what we was discussing a while ago with the Ouija
Right.
boards and stuff. You know, it is spirit communication one way or another, whether it be dowels and rods, the pendulums, Ouija boards, recorders, EMF detectors. You're making contact one way or another to the other side. So you're showing an interest to them, and they're going to show an interest right back to you, even though your equipment is completely turned off. Now, I've been on investigations before that all my batteries just flat out went dead, and I'm just sitting there sitting duck. But stuff come right out of the blue to me. I mean, you start hearing voices come out of the blue. Now, to me, that's a personal experience. You got me and Joe sitting here next to it. I say, Joe, did you hear that? And Joe goes, yeah, I heard that too. I said, what did you hear? You heard the same thing I hear. But now that's pretty credible on a personal level. But we have recorders to show, you know, everybody else, skeptics or anybody else that wants to hear an EVP or something like that, or something going on, or a sound, a growl, or whatever the case might be. But recorders, of course, have come a long way. A lot of equipment has come a long way. You can go out there with less equipment and catch just as much as you can with a lot of the older equipment. It's all become handy. You know, some of the bigger, you know what I'm saying, reel-to-reel recorders you had to carry around in the 70s and stuff like that compared to what you got here. You know, these digital recorders you can just slide in your pocket and use when you need to. So when it comes to is more equipment better? Yeah, because you can cover more